I've said it many times in videos. Being, just be. And I've watched people receive those words and quietly wonder what they mean. Because being sounds like doing nothing. And doing nothing sounds like the opposite of a structured pathway with techniques and sequences and progressive development over months and beyond. So, what does being actually mean? There's a quality that emerges through genuine long-term practice that is almost impossible to describe to someone who has not yet touched it. And it's not because it's mystical or beyond language, but because it is so ordinary that language keeps reaching past it towards something more dramatic. And it's simply this: the absence of effort in the direction of becoming something other than what is already here. In the beginning of practice, there is tremendous effort. The techniques are learned deliberately, they're applied carefully, the mind is engaged in getting it right. I don't want to get this wrong. There is self-consciousness in the practice and awareness of someone practicing. And gradually, through months and years of sincere application, that effort begins to dissolve. And I'm not saying that the practice stops. It's because the practitioner and the practice begin to merge. The technique that was once performed becomes an expression of. The stillness that was once pursued becomes inhabited. And the presence that was once sought becomes the ground from which everything else is expressed. And I do want to say something careful here. This is not a destination that is reached and then maintained. It is a direction that the system moves in as the layers that have been holding what they have held gradually release. And there are still moments where the old patterns will activate, where something in life touches a place that has not yet fully opened, where the system contracts in a familiar way. And the difference, the real difference that years of genuine practice produces is not the absence of life or those moments. It is the relationship with them. The practitioner who has genuinely developed does not meet those moments as problems to be solved or patterns to overcome. They meet them as information, as the system showing them where the next opening is available, as the practice continuing to reveal itself through ordinary life. Being is not inactivity. It is not sitting quietly and waiting for stillness to come, to be, to arrive. It is the quality from which action arises when the effortful becoming has sufficiently quietened. A practitioner who has walked this pathway for years will still be working, will still be applying techniques, still in relationship, still fully engaged with the complexity and the beauty and the difficulty of an ordinary human life. And the ground from which all of this that arises has changed. And as you're further along, you will never say that you have achieved something, but it was because something in the system released its grip on the effort of becoming. And in that releasing, in that gradual softening of the striving, what was always present becomes more consistently available, not as an experience, but as the ground, as what the system has actually become capable of expressing as its natural condition. This is what the pathway is for. It is not to create stillness. It's to develop the system until stillness can express itself through every dimension of what we are. And it's not as a glimpse. It's as the ground. It's as something the system has learned to live from in every moment. And that development, that gradual, gentle, progressive opening of every layer of the human system, it takes time because the system develops over time. Because genuine transformation is not an event. It is an unfolding. The same unfolding that has always been available, moving through a system that is gradually becoming more capable of expressing it. That is just be or being. It's not nothing, it's everything. It is arising from stillness rather than reaching toward it.